Hi, this is Suzanne in Ohio. I just have a project share today, something simple. I just wanted to show you these cluster embellishments that I've been making for journals. I have quite a few because they're addictive. Once you start, you can't stop. I could barely drag myself away from this long enough to do this video. I'm sure you know how that is. Okay, so I have two different styles that I've made. One is just a simple, insert type embellishment. You could do anything you want with it, including um, just glue it down as a pocket. And then the other one, these things are on paper clips. So I'm going to get you a little bit closer and show you all these little cuties. And let's see if we can get this crazy camera to cooperate with us. So most of what I used, I'll just point out the elements because maybe it'll give you an idea. This is a jelly print laid over top of a piece of music, and this is a print of an old textile. I have lots and lots of them. See if we can get this to give you a good look. I do have an old printer that's just terrific and prints off these textiles realistic enough you feel like you could reach down and feel the texture. So there's that one. Here's the paperclip one, a little bit up close here. And again, it's an image of an old textile. Come on, camera. I stopped feeling bad about apologizing for this camera because some of the best YouTubers on there had the same issue. You have to give the camera long enough to adjust. All right, so you can see up close they're pretty simple, but from a distance, boy, they have a lot of character and so interesting. So this one is similar to this one, except I just made it plainer. Again, a jelly print over top of sheet music. And actually, that sheet music I printed on tracing paper. And just a little fiber. Oh, I'll point out this while we're here. This is some of my polymer dyed hand dipped paper. I did a whole assortment of paper, fabrics, and laces, all in a paint bath. And this is just how some of this paper come out. I just love working with this stuff. I'll soon have some of that up for sale in kits on my Etsy site if you want to check it out. Okay, so this little thing, I should get a piece of paper and lay underneath here because it gives you a much better look at it than all that confusing in the background. So let me put this on a piece of paper. And I'll wait till this adjusts and I'll tell you about these elements because I just had such fun. The little image in the center is something that I created, and I'll show you in just a little while, maybe on my next video, which I'm going to do today. I'll show you how I created those. Wow. Look at that. Boy, that camera. Okay, let's just move this around. This teacup I also made, and if you'll notice, it has the same textile embroidery on it as the little banner that I made, and a miniature shrunk down copy of an old envelope. And of course, it says expect good. So I thought it was just a play on different things like a good cup of tea, a good news in the letter, and the binoculars because they're looking for good. And so, and again, I'm not going to turn them all over. I'll just tell you if it's a paper clip or just an insert. Okay, this is aggravating right from get-go. because of this camera. Just a little insert, no paper clip on this one. And in this case, this is a print of textile art that I did. It's got to be 10 or 12 years ago. But it's sold on Etsy, and I saved images, so I shrunk it down, and I have all these prints that I can use for whatever. The fibers that you see here, especially this green one, it's overlaid on a piece of dark fabric, but this is some of my dyed lace. And I've said in another video, and it bears repeating, I got tired of going to my sewing stash and trying to find snippets of things to match any project that I was working on. So I just did this massive project of dyeing fabric, lace, and papers this winter. So I have 15 different colors, and it gives me everything I need to do a project. I've been so thrilled with it. I'm gonna make more. Okay. And I'm not going to point out every tiny little thing in each embellishment. That would bore you silly, but just to say, if you see a piece of colored lace or fabric sticking out the edge, it was probably mine. A little download. And I am working on a bee journal, so several of these have bee themes. Not all of them, but a lot of them do. And I put some glitter glue on his wings. I think you can see that. Just gives it a nice little touch. Scraps of everything. But don't they make a cute combination? This one's kind of plain. I will probably work on this one again. I'll put some butterfly or buttons or something. This one's real attractive with the red and the black. And the print in the middle is a copy of a textile that I'm working on for my bee journals. And that textile's about 12 or 13 inches high, and it's very, very wide, so it'll wrap around the book. And again, same, I believe that's the same. I have two images really similar. I put different colored flowers on each different one. I thought that was funny that it came about by accident. Intentionally, we'll pray. It was just a scrap of paper. I didn't even notice it till it was all done. I used a lot of this image because I am making 4 journals total. So I had to have repeats in order to have what I wanted for each different journal. Well, you're probably sick of seeing that image, but look how it goes together and looks so different on each different combination. Depends on what you put around it. There you go. This one's different. This was a tiny scrap of a needle point, cross stitch, and it had already been cut up. I found it at the thrift store, and a chunk had been cut out of it. So I didn't feel a bit bad about cutting it a little bit more and fitting it on this. And I don't know how well you can see, but that bee is sitting on a cluster of pink blossoms. So I thought, well, those two go together. One of these days I'm just going to start counting and see how long it takes the camera to focus. Sometimes it's not going to do it. There. Pink blossoms. Pink blossoms. So, little play there. It's a cute one. The little flower and the leaves I made, and the yellow is some of my dyed lace. Of course, just fibers. This little thing sticking out here that looks like the edge of a doily is just a print of a dresser scarf. And that one's kind of simple. Because lighter weight pages, I think, need less. And this is Mr. A.I. Root. I think it was Amos something Root. He was a physician originally, as a life profession, and then was so interested in bees, he ended up owning one of the largest companies in the country that sold beekeeping supplies. And his company is about, I guess it's about 50 miles from here, in Medina, Ohio. And I've been out there many times to Medina. I'll go quicker now that you can see another Mr. Root. And another one. All right. Now I've got a couple specialties to show you. It's hard to tell from this camera, but this is a pocket. And this little tag comes out, has a quote from Keats in it, and a little lining of dictionary paper, and then just the little collage work on the front of it. And okay, I'm not sure how well I can show you this one. First, I'll give you an up-close look here. And then I'm going to untie this, and you can see it's a miniature book on a paper clip. Try to open this. First page, music page, and that's a tuck spot, so this little tag comes out. A little flip out page, another little flip out of music, and then in the back this is a little tuck spot too, and this little tag comes out. So boy, did I have fun doing that. And before I end this video, I want to show you about these little, that's a print, but I have the real textile. I want to show you something I came up with just to solve one of my own problems. Okay, here's another one. Wait, I wanted to go this way. So we've got this little book, and again, an old textile print on the front. Fibers. And then I made it to open up this way. Let me get back down here so you can see the whole thing. Jelly print, and this is just the back side of one of my hand-dipped papers, and I liked the texture so well I wanted it to be exposed. There's the other side, and if you want to look real close, you can see how it grains and runs. It gives such beautiful prints. Little flip out page, plenty of writing space even in this miniature little book. And the back side, and then this has a little tuck spot, and this is an image of one of my textile pieces. If you like any of my textile pieces that you've seen, everything's on my Etsy site, as a digital download. So you can look at those if you want to. Okay, one more, and I love this one. It's special to me because my sister, Regina, did the original cross stitch I guess 20 years ago. And for years, I had it in a frame. And then, you end up with so much of that stuff. It's like, what are you going to do with all that? So I took it out of the frame and made some images, and now I have it in my files to use for whatever. Now, little did I know at that time I'd end up using it in this way. So this is a large paper clip. I'll show you that. And then it's a little book on a paper clip. This is vintage writing from historical documents. I printed it on regular copy paper and waxed it so it has a vellum type look. I had fibers that I had dyed that matched exactly the purple shades in this print, and of course some textile yarn sticking out here. So let's undo this, and then you can see. And then on the inside, a little tuck spot. And this is a shrunk down image of music words. I mean, it's the first and second stanza to a song called Power of Song. Okay, little piece of tracing paper and music. And then a little tuck spot. That paper opens up. You can write on the back of it. And while I'm here, I'll just mention this. Watch for my next video upcoming in the next few days about these things. This is just printed on regular copy paper, but it's a print of a textile collage. And I made myself several sets so I didn't have to recreate embellishments all the time. And I can shrink them down to miniature, and they just, they're there. I can print them off, and there. I was off, I couldn't see the screen for a minute, so I've lost my place. All right, so let's fold that back up and stick that back in there. And here's the rest of the pages. Little music in the center. Thought-provoking words. And then back here, a little tuck spot. And this is a print of one of my textile arts from years ago. This is actually on the front of a little purse type bag. I drew the butterfly. In case you're interested, it was with micron pen. All the black is micron pen, and all the color is done with crayons. I love that technique. I love the way it blends softly. If you've never tried crayon on fabric, it's really fun and gives you great results. So you might want to try that someday. So there's my little book, and I'm not going to try to retie it here on the screen. But I hope these little embellishments give you some ideas and get all your stash out, anything you have. And your style won't be like mine. Mine won't be like yours. But anything you put together as a collage or a little cluster ends up to be so sweet. And there. I wanted the butterfly to not be front and center, but there he is. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you for watching. Again, thank you all the YouTubers who share your ideas and just give us wonderful jump-off points for our creativity. Thanks again. Bye.